What is up, YouTube? Today we're going to be going over a money play you can use to beat cover 4, cover 3, cover 2, and man defense. Now, when we get into cover 2, we can talk about that one very specifically because there's different reads for it, and it kind of depends on what your opponent is doing. But in today's playbook, we're using the spread offense. Now, you can also use this in the Patriots offense as well, and I'm going to be posting a mini scheme for members later on this coming week. Now, before we continue on with this, I'm going to be live streaming this coming Monday for the online elims of Madden 21. Now, if you guys don't know what the clubs are, that's what it's going to be. Is essentially it's a chance for Madden competitors to be able to get through the ladders, get through the online eliminations, which those emails are being sent out today, so you can't qualify for that anymore. And a chance to be able to win some money and ultimately represent their team if they end up doing the Madden Bowl this year. Nobody actually knows what other adventure can happen. But we'll be live streaming that here on YouTube. And I'll be breaking down some things they're doing on offense, some defensive stuff. And you guys can ask me questions as well. Now, in today's play, we're using stick. Again, making sure we have tight end apprentice or hot route master. Blaze through cover 3. And a cover 4 drop. Okay, setup is the same for both of them. Put A on a post, making sure our tight end apprentice is on the opposite side of trips. And then our slot receiver, speed on a slant. And you're just going to make a read, okay? It's a high-low read across middle field. This is basically like a PA post shot from last year. Potato, patata. No different. So we'll go ahead and snap the ball. I know I can hit this post route, pass lead it straight up, bang, dot. You can hit the slant. You can hit that little stop out route. One of those two are going to be open. One of those three are going to be open. So again, just really simple, something like this. Okay, high-low reads across the middle of the field. Wait for it, pass lead it straight down. And you can see low point, dot. Every time. Okay, and that's for cover 4 drop as well. Again, we're going to be using the same setup for everything we go across. Cover 2, cover 3, cover 4, man defense, you name it. You're going to be using the same exact thing. Again, kind of just pushing through these really basic things. We'll move on to cover 4 drop show 2. Same thing, A on a post, B on a slant, creating a basic high-low read. It's the same reads between the two. Again, you can low point pass that little slant route. You can wait for that little stop out. You can hit the post route. Really just simple read progression behind it. It's also, this will become more important as we get into man defense. But depending on the depth that they set their flats to, or any of their zones for that matter, you can also hit this check down with your running back on a swing route. Again, depending on what they do with the curl flats. If they set them to 20, you're obviously going to take your check downs. You're going to hit that every single down. We'll look for this little stop. This is what I call it. Little stop out route. You can see bang. This is just game check down. If you wait for the post route, you can hit on the sidelines as well. So we're going to try and wait. See if we can get a little bit good pocket right there. Bang. Dot, kind of what I was talking about. It's a late read, it's an early read, it's a medium length read. I don't know what you call that. Just trying to blaze through this simple stuff, right? We're going to go ahead and get into cover 4 corners now. So we're just going to set this play up just like that. Same reads as always. Post, slant, stop out, whatever. Snap the ball. We can look for this post route. Bang, pass lead it up. You can see dot. If they shade up, the post route's going to be taken away by the through rec. You're going to hit the little hitch. They shade up. You can also hit the little slant. So we'll go ahead and shade up. Bang, we got it all ready to go. The 3 rec should play it a lot more better. You can see right there. Plays it over top. Hit the underneath, right? That's the same thing for cover 4 quarter and palms. We're going to go down into cover 4 palms. Here's where you can potentially get a one-play touchdown off of it. The one-play tutty comes down to 2 things. 1, timing. 2, how good is your stick work? How good are you with stop and go? Get into offense only. Practice stop and go. I've already got a video about that. You guys can go look it up. It's actually pretty easy to do. It just takes some time to get used to it. But the potential one-play touchdown is going to be ran by this B receiver, the slot receiver. You got to get the timing down because if you throw it too early, he's not going to get enough separation. You throw it too late, he's going to be super close to the sideline. So we're going to be looking for B. Okay, this is where we start changing things up. We'll pass lead it straight to the outside. Right about there is the window. Stop and go. You can see one play touchdown if you could stop and go. I want to break this down more specifically, we're going to go into instant replay, and I'm going to explain how you can pull off a one-play touchdown against an AI if they don't click on. Some people do, a lot of people for some reason don't. But you can see there's a window, as clear as day. There's a window for us to hit B right here, okay? So as we throw the ball, we're going to go in slow motion, okay? I want you guys to pay attention to what this safety does right here as we stop and go. So we stop. Notice how he changes his direction. He's now coming straight at us, but when we start going again, he's now behind us, right? And this is kind of where speed is going to also take over. If you have a faster wide receiver, you're obviously going to get a little more separation than what Samuel would do instead. So let's try that again. Again, we're looking for B. You can hit A as well. The stick route kind of depends on what they do with shading. This all depends on what they do with shading right here. We'll snap the ball, look for B, pass lead it to the outside, stop. Oh, that was really bad. But you guys see what's going on right there. If you can get a good stop and go, again, I'm not the greatest at it. If you can get a good stop and go, you're essentially dumbing out the AI with the pursuit that they're taking. So again, really bad stop and go. But this just gives you an idea. If you can stop and go a lot better than what I do, notice how that guy is now coming straight down. And he stalls, and now is running backwards. Obviously, this is really bad stop and go. But if you can get a really good stop and go, you've got so much more room to work with. And this is where you've got a potential one-play touchdown against cover 4 Palm. Talk about cover 2. Cover 2 depends on what they do. If they do two things, if they baseline or if they press, you can hit that fade route for a gain of about 20, 30 yards, or even potentially a one-play touchdown. If they leave it stock and do no sort of alignment whatsoever, they leave it default, he's going to get jammed to the inside and he's going to get taken away by the deep half. So let's go ahead and show you guys the results that may happen. Again, utilizing the same play, you can hit the slant, you can hit the post, you can hit that little out hitch route, whatever you guys want to call it. But we're going to be looking at X and we're going to be forcing the ball to X. I just want to show you guys what happens. He gets jammed to the inside. We're going to go ahead and just chuck it. You can see we get kind of almost lucky right there and almost catch it. But the deep half is then able to react. Now, let's go ahead and press. Same exact setup on offense, okay? This time he gets a jam to the outside. So snap the ball. And this is even if they shade it inside, okay? It doesn't matter. If they shade inside, he still gets jammed to the outside. If they shade outside, he still gets jammed to the outside. If they shade over top, there's no press whatsoever, and you're getting a huge chunk of yards. The next one, if they baseline, we'll set it up the same exact way, okay? If they baseline, again, same result. This one is going to take a little bit longer to go ahead and hit, but you can see huge gain of yards and a one-play touchdown. Now, if they leave it default, and if they're depressed, they get jammed to the inside. The deep half plays it. And then we're going to be looking for either the post, that little baby hitch, or potentially the slant, depending, again, on what the user is doing. This is all dependent upon the user. So we'll snap the ball. I know I can hit the B route right there. I could hit Y. Again, kind of Y in this situation is tricky because you can use as a playmaker, but you have to use him as a playmaker extremely late. If you do it too soon, the slant gets playmakered, or the swing route gets playmakered. It's usually the slant. So if you're going to try using Travis Kelce in this instance as a playmaker, wait till the last second to be able to use that, so then there's no other routes in his way that could potentially get playmakered instead. So if you can get the time, utilize it. If not, just wait. We'll go ahead and see if we can get time. It's right there, kind of what I was talking about. That was a really bad playmaker. But you guys can see he got the icon around him to show you that he is getting playmaker. That was a playmaker to the right, and for some reason he came straight down. But you guys kind of get the point behind it, utilizing him as a late playmaker. Again, you can look for B, you can look for A late, you can look for B early, you can look for Y early, depending on what shading they do. That's the biggest thing with this, is shading. So we're going to go ahead and just wait for A to get open, pass lead it up. As soon as the cloud flat drops, bang, you can see right there, he drops. And you can see dot. It's the same thing like last year, rollout corners, rollout posts. Clouds will always come down as soon as they see the quarterback start to leave the pocket, okay? So if you're going to hit the post route late, manipulate the cloud flat. Yeah, a lot of the stuff carried over. And just make them pull down so then you can get the post route open instead. Obviously, you're looking for the post or the slant early, again, depending on what the user does. So really simple things. Let's go ahead and just audible straight into a cover 2 man. All right. Now, here's the nice thing about this formation. 236, dollar, 146, all get weak boxed against this. So if they come out 146 or dollar or 236, run inside zone, run 0-1 trap, and it's an easy chunk of yards. If they come out in nickel sets or basically anything else that's not considered a weak box, you're just going to run the same exact setup and react accordingly to how they are shading. If they shade over the top and inside, look for B practically immediately. Otherwise, you're going to look for Travis Kelce or George Kittle because it's a mismatch. It's a linebacker manned up to a tight end. These tight ends in particular have better route running than the linebackers do have man coverage. And so obviously they're going to get separation. So we can look for basically George Kittle or Travis Kelce for an easy dot. You can right there, bang, air truck, air truck, air truck, air truck. You can basically air truck your whole way to the end zone and get a turbo boost because, and 20 says so. Again, really, really simple stuff. We'll just shade over the top. Let's just shade inside. This is how a lot of people run it. Obviously, the 2 deep halves would more than likely be curls. And here's where your running back comes into play. People will user the guy that is manned up to the running back and will almost always leave him wide open. Until they notice that you're sending them on our route consistently, they will leave him alone. Take advantage of that. Make sure they stay on him or adjust one of their man assignments or drop off people from the pass rush to where you can run the ball and expose them for their adjustments. Okay. Really simple stuff. This is a shade up, shade inside. The slant's not going to get a free release because it's a shade up. Sometimes he'll get separation. You can see right there. He gets separation with a slot-o-matic. Get even more separation, and he'll get better catching animations as well because that's the ability. Because Madden 20 introduced Madden 19 introduced these wonderful abilities. But again, just simple stuff. It's based on reading what they're doing on defense. If they don't do any sort of shading, B's going to get jammed, not going to be opened, and you're going to be looking for Travis Kelce or George Kittle instead because neither one of those tight ends will get bumped. That's just how the game is. So we'll look for Travis Kelce right here on this little out route. You can see bang, dot, air truck, air truck. You can air truck your entire way downfield for an easy gain of almost 10 yards. So that's going to take care of this video. Again, we're going to be live streaming coming Monday for the online club eliminations. It is going to be a late stream. It's going to be either like 6 p.m. MST, which is 8 p.m. EST or Eastern Standard Time, Mountain Standard Time, or potentially even later than that. I'm going to be looking on Twitch to see when they do go live, and we'll be doing kind of a red zone either on here or on Twitch. That's to be determined. I'm going to have to do a little bit of research on that. So stay tuned for that. I'll be posting on the community board to let you guys know what the ultimatum is and what we're going to be doing. So be on the lookout for that. And until next time, guys, get in the lab. This has been T Meister. See ya.